Lights, holy cow.
Okay, we're back. Brad and Brian, we're Friday's podcast, and we got a few. I think we sent out. We're gonna try some things a little different. We sent out, I think, a notification to let you know the topics we're going to talk about, and we'll go ahead and get rolling. There'll be some other folks that'll likely be joining us, but we're going to start off with Brian. For those of you that maybe don't know Brian in the fleet, Brian is our lawyer, general counsel, and our chief risk officer. So all the safety functions, orientation, claims, so on and so forth, fall under Brian's responsibility here at Hirschbach. And what are you going to talk to us, the fleet, about today, Brian?
I want to talk a little bit about some winter driving, even though it is the middle of March and we're nearing the end of winter. Winter still isn't over yet. We have a massive storm moving through some of the western plain states, Colorado, South Dakota, Nebraska. I'll talk a little bit about those affected areas, and also talk about what we've done this past winter that we've fired up our winter task force, and talk about what we've been doing with that and some of the great results we've seen with that new endeavor that we had. Maybe I'll start with that. So about the middle of December, we started to have some bad weather, and I was laying in bed one night and it dawned on me that, man, we know where our trucks are at, and we know where the weather's at. Why don't we do something about it? So we fired up what we call a weather task force, and many of you probably, if not all of you, got a call. We called over 2,500 drivers this winter from a member of the winter task force, and what we do is we have a person identify where the weather's at, and then we take that where that weather's at and find all the trucks that are in that area or going in and out of that area, and we create a list of drivers that we want to receive a call. And we aren't telling drivers they need to shut down out there necessarily, but we are just having a general safety conversation with them, including increasing your following distance, watching your speed, obviously shutting down if you feel it's appropriate, and just reminding you that that's okay, and reminding all of our fleet operators that no load is worth ending up in the ditch over or hurting yourself or someone else that travels around you. We had some great success. We had very limited, very few accidents, roadway accidents relating to weather this year. And I can tell you, I'm an Iowa farm boy at heart. Grew up in this great state, and I can't remember a winter worse than what we had, especially in January and February this year. Dubuque typically sees, I think, 23 or 26 inches of snow a winter, and we had over 50 inches this year. So obviously the winter isn't just in Dubuque, Iowa, it's all over the country, but Texas saw some horrific snow even in February this year that they've never seen, that caused more than just roadway issues. They also had drastic issues with their power, things like that. So very proud of that team and the accomplishments that they had. The safety team really stepped up. It wasn't something we really planned. We threw it together as the winter was upon us, and shame on us for not planning a little better on the front end. But we got through it, and it's going to be even better next year. So I appreciate all the drivers who took those calls and continue to take safety seriously here at Hirschbach. It is our number one value. Talking about this weekend, we do have more winter moving through. Denver's supposed to get 30 plus inches was the last report that I saw. Cheyenne, Wyoming, western panhandle of Nebraska, southwest corner of South Dakota. We're also looking at 40 mile per hour winds. I-76 into Denver, I-70 through Colorado, I-25 Denver to Cheyenne, and I-80 through western Nebraska into Wyoming. Could be a wreck this weekend, and the Weather Task Force is ready and on standby to identify drivers in that area and help you make some good decisions out there. So be ready this weekend, be on alert. The other thing too, inevitably in the spring every year, we always seem to have at least one, if not a handful, of wind blowovers with our equipment. We've made our equipment so light anymore in order to put more payload on the trucks and make them more fuel efficient. We put all the things on the sides of the trucks to make them more fuel efficient, and for lack of better terms, they've somewhat become a sail out there. So a heavy crosswind or a heavy front wind or a driving wind from the side front can be very dangerous anymore. When I was a kid, I can't remember a time we ever had a truck blow over, but it seems like inevitably we have at least one, if not a handful, every year here. So we just remind drivers to watch the weather. Don't just think about what's on the roadway, but think about these crosswinds that are coming at you. And slow down, watch your following distance, and shut down if need be. We certainly support that decision. And at the end of the day, drivers, you make that decision, not us. You're the ones out there in the trenches facing the elements. So thanks for all that you do out there on safety, and let's keep our game going on the weather this weekend.
Yeah, just err on the side of caution, err on the side of safety out there when we're talking about high winds. Obviously, if you're empty out there with a trailer, you're much more susceptible than you are to when you're loaded. So be extra cautious if you got an empty trailer and you're in some windy conditions out there. As Brian said, yeah, safety is a value here. Err on the side of on safety. You know, if your body tells you you're tired and your logbook says you got hours, your body wins. Listen to your body. Take a nap. You know, the new hours of service. If you're not taking advantage of the new hours of service with the split sleeper berth, you know, being able to pause your 14-hour clock when you're taking your short break, your 3-hour break or 2-hour break, really adds a lot more flexibility and a lot of, I believe, is much safer than when we had the 14-hour clock keep rolling and drivers feeling like they had to drive when they were tired. So listen to your body. Pay attention to the road conditions out there, whether it's windy, whether it's sloppy, icy conditions. And let's get through this weekend cleanly. Don't want to see anyone get hurt out there. You know, literally, you know, what we do has got tremendous risk associated with it. And you know, you're all making literally thousands and thousands of decisions out there on a daily basis that are impacting people's lives. So keep your following distance, watch your speed, pay attention to what's going on out there. You guys are doing a great job. We're seeing some incredible improvements happening. In fact, we just had some really good news on the CSA front. The CSA scores come out every month, and we saw some dramatic improvements in just about every one of our CSA scores here last month, and the trends are moving in a very positive direction. Anything you wanted to add on the CSA front, Brian?
Yeah, thank you. To all of you drivers out there, you're definitely stepping up the game. We've stepped up our game here at Hirschbach, I would say, over the last 6 months. You're probably getting more safety calls from the safety coaching team than you've ever had before. We're changing, and that means that you need to change as well. And we appreciate you keeping an open mind and changing those behaviors out there. If you follow the speed limit, maintain a 7-second following distance, watch your lane changes. You know, if you do all those critical moves and do all those critical things while out on the highway, all good things are going to happen to you out there. There's obviously others, but those are the ones that cause the critical crashes out there. So thank you to all of you. We're driving things in the right direction, and Brad uses this analogy, but we've got the flywheel that was traveling in one direction. We've got it slowed down and stopped, and we've even got it turning the other direction on safety. There's a long tail on the CSA, so it's going to take a while to get exactly where we want to be, but we definitely have things moving in the right direction, and we're going to keep it that way.
Good. All right, well, we're going to bring Nick Forte up. Nick is our Chief Maintenance Officer, if you don't know Nick, and we're going to kick Brian out of here and have him go back to work. So, see you, Brian.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
And us, the group. Nick, come on down.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you.
So again, yeah, Nick is responsible for all of our equipment and bringing it in, taking it out, getting it maintained, so on and so forth. And Nick's we got a lot going on in the equipment area this year here at Hirschbach. a lot of new equipment coming in both on the truck and trailer side, and I know Nick wants to talk with you about kind of what's happening there.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. I just wanted to kind of talk about, we've got a lot of new trucks coming in, a lot of new trailers coming in, and really kind of we're just at the start of it right now. I can't hear myself.
Yep, you shouldn't hear yourself.
Okay, I can barely hear myself talking at all. We've got 1,500 new trucks coming in over the next 9 months. Starting today, we've got 25 of them that were just delivered.
Okay.
And it's going to continue to ramp up. So a lot of you are going to be getting a tap on the shoulder and expressing, hey, your truck has been pulled in for decommission, and we're going to get you into a new truck. So over the next 10 weeks, there's 406 trucks coming in. If you look at from now until July 1st, there's roughly 600. So that's a significant portion of our fleet. It's a mix of probably 85% Freightliner with the DD15, and then we've got 400 internationals coming in. Those internationals are specs with the Cummins X15, so we're going to go back to the big boys on the engine.
Yeah. I'd say it's a little bit more 2/3, 1/3, but yeah, I mean, we got a large supply of both, and as far as priorities go on, swapping trucks out, we're going to be focused on basically the 2018s and the 2019s are going to get traded out this year, right?
Yep. Everything that's a 2018 and 2019 air fleet is going to be see ya.
By this fall, we expect we'll have all those traded out, so it's going to be a flurry of activity. They're wonderful trucks that we've got coming in, and so what we got different colors.
We got different colors. We've got these things are tricked out. We did a podcast when the first truck came in, when Brad got it, the 31000. It's a black truck, cool lettering. Some of the other things that we're doing, we're getting new graphics on the trucks. That we're excited. It's
when are those going to arrive?
They'll arrive in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
There's a little bit of delay from the time we print them till the trucks get ready, but what we'll also be doing is those trucks that are already out in the fleet, when they come in, we'll be retrofitting them to the new graphics as well.
Yeah, so if you're in a 2021, we had 175 2021s that came in the latter part of last year. If you're in one of those trucks, or you've already gotten into a 2022 this year, we'll put the new graphics on your truck at some point here when it's convenient for you.
Yeah. The other thing that's really exciting that's coming, we've got 1,200 to 1,400 new trailers. We're going to be getting rid of all of our 2016s, most of our 2017s, and a good portion of our 2018 trailers. So we're going to take out a lot of that old equipment that it's kind of seen its better day, and it needs to go to the secondary market. And we're going to put these new trailers in here. And some of the great part about the new trailers is they are smart trailers. So I've touched on this a little bit on smart trailers, but what it's going to enable us to do is to look and make sure that we don't have lights out, we don't have ABS faults. We're also going to understand where the trailers are at, know if the doors are open and closed. It provides a huge operational benefit. So when we say, hey, go pick up this trailer, we're sending you to a trailer that's ready. That's been one of the biggest complaints in the 22 years I've been in the industry. It's one of the things we've not solved, and I'm trying to get that solved. We're trying to get it solved. I want you to be able to haul freight when you pick up your trailer.
Yeah, we're going to really move the needle in the trailer issue this year. Not only are we going to have a bunch of new trailers, but as Dick said, we'll be able to better monitor remotely, particularly the lights on these trailers, and make sure that they're all working before you pick up a trailer. And then we're also putting some manpower. We're going to have some folks really focusing on trailer management more so than what we ever have. And if someone leaves a problem for someone else, I know a big frustration is those people not being held accountable, and the people that are doing it we're going to have people that are going to be able to follow up on those things. Well, Dan Wallace has joined us, and it looks like he's having some technical difficulties.
I got no sound, Warren.
I think it works, Dan. I think we're good.
I can't hear you. I mean, it's not coming through here.
I can't hear you either, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
As long as Warren can hear you. Warren, can you hear Dan?
I can hear Dan.
Yeah, you're good,
All right.
Dano.
Okay.
So we got Dan Wallace who's going to be joining us here today, and let's see. What else we want to talk about equipment-wise, Nick? Anything else?
You know, that's pretty much
pretty
what
much
we
it?
got going in is the new trucks and trailers. You know, the good safety systems on the trucks. You know, the side sensors. Really looking forward to getting some new equipment in there. Again, these are 15-liter engines. We're not doing 12-liter engines, but we're looking at better fuel economy. So I'm excited.
Well, take care of these things, please. They're expensive, but they're incredible machines, and we really need to treat them with respect. And let's make sure that you know we're taking care of them. Tire inflation is such a huge issue. We are going back to duals. I'm sure, as we mentioned before, both on the trucks and trailers, which has been a popular decision with the vast majority of the fleet that I've talked to. But let's really make sure we're taking care of this stuff inside of the trailers. Inside of the trucks. Let's make sure that we're keeping them clean, and we look good out there going down the road. So good. All right. Well, Nick, anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll let you get back on with your day, and we'll bring in Dan the man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. I'll make a little bit more real estate, a little territory here for you, Dano. Come on in and join us. So, yeah, I think on the last podcast, or maybe the podcast before that, I think it was 2 podcasts ago, I had communicated to the fleet that we were going to be doing some minor structural changes where I was going to relinquish or fire myself from the president role and just focus on being the CEO, and that Dan was going to be taken over as the president. And so this is Dan's first podcast since that announcement. So congratulations, Dan, and I know you're going to do a great job.
Well, thanks, Brad, and I want to thank everyone out there. I look forward to working with everyone. You know, trucking company is only as good as its drivers, so you know, we're very intent on improving the driver experience at Hirschbach. So a few things, you know, the freight market is very strong, and personally I think it's the strongest it's ever been. Sometimes in this business memories can be short, but if you look at the data, you look at the demand, I think it's extremely strong. It's strong now, and you know, we've got Easter hams. We'll be pushing out, and then before you know it, it will be grill season, and we're such a predominant protein hauler. When grill season hits, we're going to get a boost, and then you know we got early spring produce. And then we'll have summer produce, and then, you know, the other thing is, you know, the economy. The economy is gaining steam. Actually, I think some people are worried that it's gaining steam too fast, but the market is very strong, and I think it's going to stay stronger. You know, our demand for our services is it's literally off the chart, and you know. Brad mentioned that you know he's going to be focused more on a CEO role, and over the next year and a half we'll be transitioning stuff. But one of the first things we're starting to work on is to kind of one Hirschbach, and one of the first things is the sales arena. Mike Smith has been named our chief sales officer. And this past week, we had the entire sales team into Dubuque, working as one group, not just dedicated, not just spot, not just over the road, but all working together to collectively improve our network. You know, we're making good progress. I mean, and it's a never-ending progress. But we are working very diligently to refine our network. You know, I looked this morning and for over the road, I mean, we're dead on 1,000-mile length of haul, and that's just about perfect in the over-the-road world, in my opinion. You know, some of the things we're doing is we've all but eliminated broker loads, and what few are left, they're under pretty tight scrutiny. So we've also identified some customers we want to grow. You know, the better we do, the more we can share. And we've got some heavy guidelines on certain accounts we're going to grow. And you know, some of them, just to name a few, is we're very high on a company called Lactalis. They've got a national footprint, matches up very well with ours. So we're looking at that. We've got customers, you know, that everybody knows coming to us with additional freight requests, whether it be Smithfield or Purdue or others out there that everyone knows. But we also have a tremendous amount of demand from names that probably aren't quite as well known. You know, in the high value sector, we've got RJR pushing freight our way. I was the reason I was late getting down here is I was on a call with UPS. UPS is wanting to know what they need to do to get basically more trucks from us to haul HelloFresh. You know, we just we're in the final stages of getting our summer berry program nailed down with Driscoll's. So there's just a lot of moving parts. But you know, the good news is we're gonna, you know, Nick was on, and we've got a very aggressive plan to exchange out 400 trucks in basically less than 90 days. That's going to give us a big lift. The new trailer technology is pretty unbelievable. That is going to give us an edge in the market. So a lot of good stuff happening at Hirschbach. So, you know, just touch on a couple other things. You know, the service is always key critical. We were able to kind of dodge some bullets here the last few weeks because of weather and stuff, but we kind of need to get our service back in line. You know, with that said, I know we have a big weather front coming into the Rockies, so be careful out there. I don't want to forget that. The other thing I think that's kind of important is with some of this business coming on, you know, we want to do the higher paying freight, quite frankly, and there's going to be a real, I think, niche play out there on the service, kind of semi-expedited. So we are, and Brad shared, where we are kind of turning up the school, so to speak. You know, I think in over the road, I think they've got about, total they have about 50 trainers that have been through the course and stuff. So if you know any good young people, or even old people for that matter, that have their CDL and they just need a touch-up course, or if they need a little more than that, please refer them, because you know, especially with this high-value stuff, there's a very strong demand for having 2 people in the truck, not necessarily driving, but 2 people in the truck. So as we get into that more with people like Kuhnenagel and Bear and McKesson, a lot of requirements to have 2 people in the truck, and you know, that stuff pays a premium. So we're working through that. Also, before I came down, our head of recruiting, chief people person, Jesse, said, don't forget to mention the referral program. So we can use that also. So anything you guys can do will be greatly appreciated. We appreciate everything you do. The service is important, but safety is more important. By all means, be safe. So
Well, good. That's a lot of exciting things, as Dan had mentioned, that we've all got forward to look to. 2021 is going to be a really a great year. I could definitely see it and feel it. A couple other maybe items. Bob Twining, who's going to be retiring here at the end of the month, our chief information officer, IT, and so forth. He discovered something this morning that he shared with us. Apparently, you can send messages from different parts of the TransFlow system. You can send them from the normal load side, which the vast majority of you are sending the messages in through there. And apparently, you can also send it through the hours of service. And there was a small number of messages going through there, but those messages don't integrate into our system. And so I apologize to some of you that have sent messages through there. We've never seen them. We never received them. But the ability to send messages from the hours of service side is going to be eliminated here shortly, so you won't be able to do it from there. We won't have this issue going forward. You just do it normally from the load side. So that's one item. Another item, we're going back to music on the hold. We've gone back and forth. We had all these trucker songs that people were getting tired of, and then we put on some songs that I selected. Some people like them, some people don't. We tried the podcast on there, and some people are getting confused. Thought there was a conversation going on or something, and people were hanging up. And so we're going back to music. I think you got my old 5 songs on there. We'll try and mix it up and come up with some new ones. Dan, you want to maybe select some songs for the group?
Oh, I'm not sure I'm qualified.
You're not sure you're qualified? All right. Well, we'll get some different music out there for you. But more importantly, let's not have you on hold. And we've got some new reporting that we'd like to share with you that, Dan, we just saw it this morning for the first time, right?
Yeah, it's really a very, very impressive amount of data. It's almost data overload. But what it does is it peels everything back, and there's really no place to hide from our perspective. So, the good news, the semi-good news is that on average, which is about 20,000 calls a week, on average, the hold time is less than 2 minutes. Now, when you get into the deeper dive, there's significant differences between daytime ops, nighttime ops, road assist. We are looking at safety, OS&D, recruiting. So there's some disparity, but now we have the data at our fingertips, and like I kind of started by saying, there's really no place to hide. So we're going to be putting a lot of energy into that. We're getting feedback from staff about the queues. It's probably better than it was a couple years ago, but it still sounds like we could do better with the queues. So the phone, I mean, me personally, I can't stand up, be on hold. So I kind of, from a personal level, feel your pain. And the other thing, we can sector the calls, and the ones, anytime there's a call on hold for more than 10 minutes, that needs to be resolved much quicker.
Yeah, and just 5% of the calls are on hold for 10 minutes or more. And so, as Dan said, our average is under 2 minutes throughout the organization. That was actually a better number than I expected to see. I was pleasantly surprised with that. However, those exceptions are the ones that could really bite you in the backside, and so we're going to be really focused on those excessive hold times and make sure that we understand where those are happening and when, and we figure out a way to make sure that we get your calls answered promptly. The other thing I would say, though, is minimize your calls. If it's something that it doesn't have urgency associated with it, and it could wait, with a message being received or something like that, go ahead and do that. I know we are looking at a new phone system. It's not going to be probably put in place for for a while. We haven't selected the one yet, but one of the features I know that we're looking for in the new phone system is a callback feature, where instead of you waiting, if it's something that isn't quite so urgent, that you could just request a callback when that person's available. So the new system will definitely make sure that that's got it. I know several drivers have asked for that in the past, and we're going to make that happen here at some point in the next 6 to 9 months. So
kind of along the lines of the drivers, I think you all can expect to see a short survey come out within the next week.
I was just going to go there next.
Oh, did I steal
No,
your
you got
line?
it. No, good. We're on the same page, Dan.
We're
That's
actually and Brad and I aren't going to come up with the questions, by the way. We actually got, a lot of you probably know Rob Stites and Robin Lewis and Lottery and Nevada. They're the ones that are they have your ear. The payroll team. Those are the ones that are coming up with the survey questions. So when you do receive the survey, we ask that you participate, so we can start, identifying maybe the top 3 issues we need to start looking at. So if you could do that, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, please do it. It'll come through your app as a notification, and it's very important that you give us your feedback and let us know how we're doing so we can make this great company even that much greater.
Brad, did you talk about the what came across, I think it was TCA, in regards to the truckers being able to get their COVID shots?
No, that's a good point, talking about COVID shots, but go ahead. I don't know that I saw the most recent one, Dan.
Well, you sent.
Oh, I sent it.
You
Okay.
sent the article. Well, basically,
the
the
truck stops?
ATA
Yeah.
is trying to make arrangements through and utilizing possibly the truck stop networks,
Right.
where you can get your vaccination on the road, and then not necessarily have to get back to that same exact location, within 30 days or whatever. So basically, they would give you a documentation card saying you got your first inoculation on, March 15th in Nashville, Tennessee, and then you would find the next available type of appointment approximately 30 days later, and you would be able to maybe get your second inoculation in Omaha. So that would be very good. The sooner the country can reach a herd immunity level, hopefully we can all start getting our lives back to more of what would be called normal. Because there's no doubt this past year has been challenging. I watched a couple specials the last couple nights because basically it's been 1 year, and it's really 500,000 lives. I mean,
Wow.
it's really been a big deal, and for the most part, the Hirschbach family has been pretty. There's been some tragedies and stuff, but for the most part, we've been very fortunate within the Hirschbach family and the Hirschbach business. So
Absolutely.
So looking more to probably come through the network news agencies on the ability to get your vaccines.
Yeah, we're really keeping our finger on the pulse of this. As Dad mentioned, the ATA, American Trucking Association, they're really our voice in Washington. We work real close with them, and they're out there doing some great work on the industry's behalf. And I'm confident we'll hopefully be able to put something together that makes sense for our drivers, whether it's the 2 vaccine solution, as Dan mentioned, or maybe the Johnson & Johnson one where you only need just the one and done. We should be swimming in this stuff over the next couple months, and I had mentioned on maybe last week's podcast or the one before that we're going to bring back the doctor here like we did on the front end of COVID, and have just a topic to focus on the vaccine specifically, and really try and answer any questions or concerns anyone's got we're certainly huge proponents of getting the vaccine and getting any of the 3 vaccines that have been approved as soon as you can. The sooner we do that, the sooner we can all get back to running back to our lives the way our lives should be, and we can see our loved ones and do the things we like doing, go to ball games, all that sort of good stuff. So, all right. Anything else, Dan, you'd like to before we conclude?
Are they up to speed on the terminals and where we're at with making headway on?
No, we'll give them the latest updates on terminal. Sure. No, we didn't talk about those. Kansas City is now in our hands. There is going to be a keypad that's going to be installed next week, we believe on Wednesday. When that happens, we'll get a fleet-wide message out. So step 1 for our drivers is you'll be able to use that as a safe place to park later next week. And then at the same time, we're having a lot of success hiring some incredible technicians out there with a lot of experience. So we expect the shop will be up and running around the 1st of April. And we're going to start doing new driver orientation. Our orientation will be held in Kansas City starting the week of April 5th. So if you know of anyone that Kansas City would be a convenient location and they're good drivers and want to come to us, they'll be able to start going to orientation there then. I've talked about the Denton facility. Hopefully this Friday we're supposed to receive word, and we expect it to be positive, that we've been approved to start building on the land across the street. So we'll keep you updated there. Assuming we get that approval, the first thing we're going to do is create a temporary drop lot over there where we can, we know the problem we have in Denton, why we're building, is because we don't have enough land there to park equipment, and it really creates some frustrating situations for everyone, our drivers, our folks, Jason and his team in the shop and what have you. So, we'll create a drop lot hopefully across the street within the next couple months, and primarily park trailers there and keep the trucks over at the yard. That'd be step 1. Step 2 is building the new place, and I would expect we'd start construction the second half of maybe in the fall, second half of this year, and sometime in 2022 get that thing completed. So that's exciting.
The Texas thing's huge. I mean, we put so many trucks up and down I-35, and to have that facility there and have it, literally gridlocked, to be able to open that thing up is gonna be a big advantage for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of drivers stay away from there because of the congestion, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the other terminal update I'd give you is Monmouth. We're going to start a pretty extensive construction project there, or facelift or improvement project, whatever you want to call it, in Monmouth this year. We're getting bids on concrete, so there's going to be a lot of concrete put down. The fuel pumps are going to get removed. Grannies will go from the shack to where the truck shop is in the front there, and we'll build what I'm calling an orange beacon. Instead of the blue beacon, it's an orange beacon. So it'll be a couple of wash bays that you'll be able to drive through and get your the outside of your truck and trailer washed, not just the inside of the trailers. So that'll be our first location that we have one of those. But in the future, we'll be adding more of those throughout our network. Once we got a location that we're happy with and we've got the right land and facility, we'll make sure that we've got orange beacons out there. And for our operators out there, good news, as those orange beacons become available in our network, you will be able to utilize those to wash your truck, trailer, free of charge. So free of charge and as often as you'd like. So that'll be something that we're all looking forward to. We've got such nice equipment. We want to make sure it looks good out there.
For sure. I mean, by the time we complete this year, I suspect we'll have the newest fleet on the road by the time we exchange out all the trucks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not only the newest, but I'll say the nicest spec as well, and best looking, best branding. Lot of pride in the ride going down the road there. The last terminal, well, I'll give you we're going to in East Dubuque, I've mentioned, we're also going to have a construction project in East Dubuque. We're going to change the flow of traffic. The entrance will be down near the training, graffiti training building. That'll be the way in, and the way out will be on the side of the shop. All of our locations, we're working on plans to have controlled access on and off our facilities, as well as safety inspection lanes. And so we can, if you have any issues with the equipment, you can get them addressed quickly, and we'll have quick fix bays, if you will, for doing minor repairs to get you back out on the road. Excuse me. The last terminal update I've got will be Joliet, Illinois. We do have an agreement to take possession of a very nice facility in Joliet, Illinois. We're currently reviewing the document. I expect we'll have something signed early next week, and take possession of it likely in July of this year. So very nice facility. That location will have on-site fuel, and I would say that on-site fuel we're planning also being something that would be at Hirschbach facilities of the future as we get this network and our terminals set up the way we want them.
Was BK in here earlier?
BK was. He
Okay,
was
so
he was first on deck.
So he shared the good news with the CSA?
CSA scores, and talked a lot about the storm coming through and high winds and so forth. You bet. Yeah. No, that was great on the CSA scores. Absolutely.
So I just want to support and reiterate to all the drivers that the safety coaches have got a tough job to do, and they're doing a heck of a job. You know, ultimately, we all want to be safe. I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and says we want to have an accident. But, you know, there's a few things, guys, that we really need to kind of square up. And I've heard some blowback here and there, but, I mean, there's like a few cardinal sins that just need to stop. Driving a commercial vehicle down the road and being actively involved in with a handheld cell phone, you can't do that. It's just not safe. You know, the other thing that has popped up is these U-turns. You know, you just can't pull a U-turn on a major highway. It is dangerous. And you know, another one that sounds so silly, and a lot of the experienced truckers out there are going to scoff, but I mean, good golly, we're dropping like one trailer a day because we're not getting out and making sure we're latched. You know, we just can't do that. And the other one is, you know, I don't know what it's called out on the road nowadays, but it used to be called Georgia Overdrive or something to that effect. You know, this excess of speed that's beyond even the manufacturing of the equipment is it's just not acceptable. So I want to support the safety team and tell you all that that behavior will not be accepted. You know, none of us want to take that phone call where there's been a major accident. So anyway, I'll leave it at that.
No, it's yeah, I couldn't reiterate that enough. Obviously, you know, your safety and the safety of those around you, we've got to have that in the forefront of our mind at all times. And you know, literally lives are at stake, and everyone's got to take that as it's got to be the number one thing out there for sure. I'm going to go ahead and we've started this. I guess what would you call this, Warren? What am I looking at here? What is this thing called?
Is there live questions from the drivers that are watching?
All right. So for those of you that are watching live, we're now taking questions. So there's a few common themes in here. I'll do my best to answer as many of these as I can. Curtis asks, when are the new international trucks coming in? And they're going to start coming in next week. So 400 of them are coming in starting next week. We're estimating to receive roughly 25 a week over the next 8 weeks. Well, I did that wrong. Over the next 16 weeks, I guess. Bad math on my part. I will say, whether it's international, whether it's Freightliner, there are definitely some component shortages that are going on out there. They're having some challenges getting all the parts that they need. So I know we've got some Freightliners that are delayed with after treatment parts that have not arrived. And so I would not be surprised if some of the trucks get delayed a little bit based on what we're hearing, but hopefully not. So international start arriving next week. I got someone that says, Williams asking, I'm in a 2019 international. How do I get on the list for a new truck? Well, here's the good news. You're already on the list, all right? So if you're in an 18 or 19, you're already on the list. You might not know it, but you are on the list. We've got if you're curious to know where you are on the list, you could definitely talk to who should
Probably
we talk?
Jan Garrett or Dan McGovern.
Yeah, sort
would
of
be good reach out there.
Yeah, they're the ones coordinating the efforts. But we're going to be pulling out the 2018 18s first. There's a group of Kenworths that are scheduled to come out early on. 2019s. There's some Freightliner 18s and 19s that are on the list. So there's kind of a group of about 600 trucks that are on the short list, I'm going to call it, over the next, call it 3-4 months. And then the balance of the 19s are towards the second half of the year. But you can talk to the leasing department. They can answer your question as to where you are. Jimmy's got a question. Will the new trucks come equipped with bigger refrigerators? And yes, the answer is yes. In fact, you can't actually buy a good size refrigerator from the guys that are making the trucks. They all got these little toy ones where you're lucky to be able to get about 2 ice cubes in the freezer. So we're no longer going to be speccing trucks with factory installed refrigerators. We're putting in our own refrigerators, and they're big. I'm going to say from the table, they're from the table to about here. You can get plenty of food in there. So I went out when I went out. I think it was in December for a week. I filled up the fridge and I never bought any food while I was out on the road for the week. I just ate out of the fridge. So let's see what else we got here. Danny, you're having some problems with your 2019 Kenworth. You've been here for 4 months, having some challenges. It's on the short list to be replaced. So I would expect that would happen in the next couple months. Let's see. William, why do we not have a phone directory on the Geo tab anymore? I have no idea, but that's a good question. We'll go ahead and check into that and see what's going on with the phone directory that we used to have on there. Thanks for bringing that up. A couple one-offs relating to I like to call these I'm a driver, so I could make fun of myself, but these driver war stories we talk about sometimes. But a couple of you had some bad experiences, it sounds like, with being in that one of the 5% that have waited for more than 10 minutes. And number one, I apologize that occurred. But you have my commitment, you have Dan's commitment that we're going to really hone in on those excessive wait times and drive those out of the organization. So if you've had one of those in the past, again, I'm sorry. We've got it in our radar. That looks like it's it from the group. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for doing such a great job out here. Got a lot of great things to look forward to here in 2021. And we'll talk to you next week.
Take care, everyone. Be safe.